Well, good afternoon and welcome back to the YouTube channel of Old Bloke Crypto on March 28th, 2024. As we enter the last trading day before Easter, before the big break, and what an interesting day it is going to be, that is for sure. Lots to talk about today, so we'll get into it in a minute. But as we say on the splash screen, volatility, opportunity, and it's happening today. We are most of the way through the Asian session at the time of recording, and particularly looking forward to the US session, which starts in about 8 hours time, because it's going to be fun and games between two particularly big groups of traders today. Let's get into it. Now, looking at the liquidation heat map, this is the 1 week time frame. This will give you a bit of an idea of what's happening. If you were watching what happened or woke up this morning here in Australia to see the excitement that happened last night, there was big volatility, relatively big volatility that is, on the markets. And you see here the market makers come up and taking out billions of dollars worth of shorts here and left, and also liquidity pool up here yet to take. And you've heard me talk about that many times. Where he leaves a pool, he will be back, as we've seen here previously, not so long ago, several days ago. And the price came up, and before that, price came up and took out that liquidity. And this one kept coming up. This is the standard play. Comes up, take liquidity, appears to be going away, then comes back for another grab. Goes away, and then lets liquidity build up to the upside and comes and takes it out. But it's not just the upside that billions of dollars were taken. He's also taken billions to the downside as well. So he's returned serve for the longs as well as the shorts. But why this volatility? Well, today it is the last trading day of the month, end of the quarter. So that means that options trades are going to expire today. So, and there is a battle on. There will be a battle on tonight. Yesterday, last night, this was the precursor to the main battle. The undercard, so to speak, to the main event. So tonight will be when those options expire, and the TLDR of that is that the options traders, they want price to go down. The hedge funds want prices to go up. So there will be a battle on, particularly with Bitcoin and Ethereum, with those options expiry happening during the course of the trading session in the US tonight. So hold on to your hats. Here comes the volatility. But of course, where will price go as a result? Well, as I always say, follow the money, or show me the money, to quote Tom Cruise. And you'll see here, look at this liquidity band right here. There's 3.65 billion, 3.9 billion, just all tight in there. So you can see the options traders were desperate to stop this price from getting up here, which will really knock out their profits, basically. So again, without going into too great detail, because it's quite complicated, just leave it to the fact that options traders want price to go up, hedge want to go down, and hedge funds want price to go up. So you'll see here, look at, as I've been talking about, and this is just in the last week, it's just a huge amount of liquidity to the upside. Now, there's also plenty to the downside, don't get me wrong, but when you do the sums, there is a lot more to the upside than the downside. And for those reasons that I was talking to you about earlier this week, with the inflow to the ETFs, with the Bitcoin halving coming, the window is closing and will close completely in the US session today for price to really take a dive down before the move up that's going to accompany the Bitcoin halving. Of course, where Bitcoin goes, secondarily Ethereum goes, and then the rest of the market. Of course, looking at the price action, you'd be forgiven for thinking this is looking rather ugly. And so we're looking here at the price of Ethereum on the 4-hour chart, and you can see here the light blue line, the 50 EMA, which I've referred to. Price is sitting between the 50 and the 200. It's wicking, it's bouncing around there. It's certainly nothing tradable. If I was looking for a momentum shift, certainly nothing to get excited about just yet. And you'll see how earlier in the week I was talking about prices come through and confirmed above the 50 EMA, which is very good. Is it a deviation? It could be, of course, always could be. But as I just mentioned, with those other market factors that are happening, you certainly couldn't say yes at the moment. And with the macro outside factors, there is no way that I would be betting for this to continue on to the downside at the moment. And as I talked about earlier in the week, you had this early momentum shift indicator, which was on the 1-hour chart, where the 50 EMA crosses the 200 back here. You'll see that point there 7 days ago, which is always an early indicator that momentum is shifting. But what happens if it comes back and crosses over? Well, that invalidates that signal, of course, and it certainly could do so in the next 24 hours. So it's all, the crescendo is coming to the 24-hour period in this 24-hour, really 18 hours, in fact, by the time the US market closes for Easter. So you'll see here, it's all happening. It's all coming to a head, so to speak. So it'll be very interesting to watch and see what this 1 hour 50 and 200 EMAs end up. Looking at the daily, things don't exactly look so bad for Ethereum, and you'll see they're well above the 50 EMA. And you'll see here, however, you've got the mid-range. And see how I was talking before about oscillating around the 4-hour price range? It's also oscillating around here. And this is because traders are hedging their bets. I was talking about hedge funders just before, not exactly the same thing, but I should say sitting on their hands and just waiting to see how things develop. People are expecting this big move to the upside, absolutely. But you'll see here, a lot of people have already got their positions. So they're just sitting pat, just like myself, waiting to see how things develop. And that's an entirely reasonable strategy. And as you remember, I'm working on a high time frame trade at the moment, happy with my position and just sitting pat and watching, certainly not looking to add to my position. And last night when we had that big spike up and down happen in the middle of the night, in these times, I don't have automated trades set in place to open only to close with my exits, take profit exits. That's fine. But certainly I don't want to add to on eyeball it before I do so. So I let that one go through and didn't add to my position despite the dip that happened yesterday now, which got down to 34.62. And we've seen it during the course of today, during the Asian session, get round to about 34.80, et cetera, et cetera. And then bounce back up like it's 35.16 now. So you see here a lot of oscillation going on and certainly nothing that you would trade on. And of course, is it time to be scared? And you'll see here on the ETH BTC chart that Ethereum is plumbing the depths, really hitting the support level, the ETH BTC chart. Now, is that something to be concerned about? No, not at all. It's opportunity because as far as I'm concerned, if price gets any lower, it won't get much lower. As I was talking about, you've got the Bitcoin halving, you've got the time happening for alt season. And of course, at the very start of alt season, it's Ethereum season. So really, this is opportunity. If you're seeking to open a long position or add to a long position, a high time frame long position, not a scalp, now is still, the window is still open, closing fast for you to open that position. Now, I will say again, saying that this is not financial advice. You do you as far as your trading goes. You make your own decisions. I make my own. And by the way, please hit the like and subscribe buttons and the notification bell to be notified of future videos. But all of this confluences into saying this is going to be very exciting next 18 hours to see where the market is going. And really, I see this as a turning or inflection point for the market to head back towards the yearly highs, both for Bitcoin and Ethereum. And looking at the Bitcoin chart as an experienced trader, I look at that and that's opportunity to the upside as far as I'm concerned. Absolutely. And so, especially since we're back up near the all-time highs and the yearly highs, it's just a matter of time before that breaks through. And as I've said to you before, I am going to close my trade out when we hit those yearly highs for Ethereum, because Ethereum is what I trade most. And then I'll reevaluate for the next trade, take one trade at a time. But as I said, the window is closing fast if you're seeking to add to your position, which I'm not because I've got my position. But if you're opening a new position, high time frame, or adding to a high time frame position, window is closing. I would certainly not do so during the US session tonight. It's going to be too volatile. There's going to be too much happening. Sit back and watch it unfold, take your profits, and then enjoy a Easter break with your family and loved ones. So this is Old Bloke Crypto wishing you a happy Easter. This is the last day here in Australia, of course, before Easter. We have a 4-day break. I think the Americans have a 3-day break, so they're back on Monday. Anyway, if you're trading over Easter on crypto, which never sleeps, trade safe, trade within your lens, and I will talk to you next week.